You guys ready? All right, good afternoon, everybody. It is now 4 o'clock. Please let the minutes reflect. We have all 5 board members present and accounted for. Ms. Segata-Jones, is there any changes to the agenda this evening?
Good evening, President Martinez, members of the board. There are no changes.
Okay. With that, is there a motion to adopt the agenda?
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda.
Second.
All right. Mr. Jaramillo, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Wilson, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Pimentel, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Bartels, how do you vote?
Aye.
And chair votes aye. Thank you. Please join me in a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise. I know it seems silly to ask because there's only 3 people here, but are there any calls to the public this afternoon?
No, there are not.
Okay, thank you. All right, moving on to the consent agenda. Is there a motion to adopt the consent agenda items?
I'll make a motion to accept the...
Did anybody want any items pulled first or no?
We covered that.
Okay. All right. All right.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
All right. Mr. Jaramillo, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Wilson, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Pimentel, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. It's been a long week. Ms. Bartels, this is now your time to vote.
Okay, aye.
And the chair votes aye. Thank you.
I don't know.
All right, moving on to the next. We have no reports or informational items, but this time we will go ahead and is there a motion to adjourn to executive session?
I'll move to go into executive session.
Second.
All right. Mr. Jaramillo, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Wilson, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Pimentel, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Bartels, how do you vote?
Aye.
Okay. At this time, the governing board will, well, I guess we're going to miss that. Okay. At this time, the governing board will consider voting to recess the regular meeting in order to convene to executive session for the following purpose. In accordance with ARS 38-431.03A3 for discussion or consultation with the district's legal counsel regarding action items 7A, 7B, 7C, and 7D. We'll be back.
This is Jim Gill.
Hi, Jim. This is Eric with Glendale Elementary calling into the board meeting.
Great, thank you.
All right, is there a motion to reconvene from executive session?
I'll make a motion to reconvene.
I'll second.
Mr. Jaramillo, how do you vote? Aye. Ms. Wilson, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Pimentel, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Bartels, how do you vote?
Aye.
And chair votes aye. We're now back in regular session. Moving on to our action items. Action item number 7A, call for election for bond election. Ms. Sagata-Jones?
Yes. President Martinez, members of the board, it is recommended the governing board consider, discuss, amend if desired, and if deemed advisable, to adopt a resolution ordering and calling a special bond election to be held and for the district and authorizing the Assistant Superintendent for Finance and Auxiliary Services to comply with certain sections of the Internal Revenue Code.
Is there a motion to approve the call for election for bond?
I'll make a motion to approve the call for election for the bond election as presented.
Second.
Mr. Jaramillo, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Wilson, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Pimentel, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Bartels, how do you vote?
Aye.
And chair votes aye. Thank you. Our next action item, 7B, call for election, the district additional assistance override. Ms. Sagata-Jones?
Yes, President Martinez, members of the board, it is recommended the governing board consider, discuss, amend if desired, and if deemed advisable, to adopt a resolution ordering and calling special district additional assistance override election to be held and for the district and declaring the deadline for submitting arguments for and against the election to the Maricopa County School Superintendent as August 11, 2023 at 5 p.m.
All right. Is there a motion to approve the call for election?
I make a motion to call for election regarding district additional assistance override.
Second.
Mr. Jaramillo, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Wilson, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Pimentel, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Bartels, how do you vote?
Aye.
And chair votes aye. Thank you. Moving on to action item 7C, the call for election, budget override election. Ms. Sagata-Jones?
Yes. President Martinez, members of the board, it is recommended the governing board consider, discuss, amend if desired, and if deemed advisable, to adopt a resolution ordering and calling a special budget override election to be held and for the district and declaring the deadline for submitting arguments for and against the election to the Maricopa County School Superintendent School Elections Office as August 11, 2023 at 5 p.m.
Is there a motion to approve item 7C, call for election, budget override?
I'll make a motion to call for election regarding budget override election.
Second.
All right. Mr. Jaramillo, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Wilson, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Pimentel, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Bartels, how do you vote?
Aye.
And chair votes aye. Thank you. Moving on to our last action item, number 7D, the call for election, sale, lease, or exchange of district property. Ms. Sagata-Jones?
Yes, President Martinez, members of the board, it is recommended the governing board consider, discuss, amend if desired, and if deemed advisable, to adopt a resolution ordering and calling a special election to be held in and for the district and authorizing the sale, lease, or exchange of district property.
Is there a motion to approve item 7D, the call for election, sale, lease, or exchange of district property?
I'll make a motion to call for election regarding sale, lease, or exchange of district property.
Second.
Mr. Jaramillo, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Wilson, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Pimentel, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. Bartels, how do you vote?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye. Thank you. Moving on to item number 8, future meetings and agenda item requests. Ms. Sagata-Jones, do we have anything coming up?
Our meeting is scheduled for June 7th, and we will need to conduct that meeting. We have several items on there as listed.
That's the one we moved to Wednesday, correct?
Yes, we did.
Okay. Make sure everybody checks their calendars. Don't worry, we'll make sure everybody knows. All right. Are there any items that need to be added to a future agenda? All right. Seeing none, moving on to our summary of current events, of which there are many. Ms. Sagata-Jones, tell us what's going on.
Yes, as it is the last day of school, it's been an incredible school year, and I want to thank all staff and students and family and community who have supported GSD during this 22-23 school year. Couldn't be more proud of our staff and our students and community. I'd also like to acknowledge that there is art display in the back from the GSD Art Show, as those were some of the students' work. So always pleased to see that. I'd also like to announce that the National Showcase Schools are chosen, that Don Menzendick School was named the Capturing Kids' Hearts National Showcase School. The National Showcase Schools are chosen annually through a rigorous selection process that includes measuring key performance indicators, gathering campus data, and surveying staff and students. Menzendick implemented Capturing Kids' Hearts processes to improve student achievement in campus culture and climate. And congratulations, we want to say to the Menzendick Jaguars. They did that through a Zoom, and they were notified that after our last board meeting. And then again, I'd like to acknowledge that GSD Director of Federal Schools, Leslie Mealy, is a recipient of the 2023 Friends of Foster Ed Empathy and Action Award. This award recognizes professionals who advance the academic and social success of students experiencing foster care in Arizona's education and child welfare system. Leslie is a fierce advocate for all students experiencing foster care and works tirelessly to remove the barriers for students. She approaches her work with empathetic lens and is always happy to work with community partners such as Foster Ed. And when we get back to our normal board meetings, we have several plaques that we would like to recognize, and we'll bring Leslie at that time. And then with that, I would like just to do 2022-2023 year in review for you.
Merry Christmas, family game night! Merry Christmas, family game night!
Now hiring.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you GESD athletes.
Thank you to Ms. Adriana Alvarado Parsons for putting that together for us. It's been an incredible year. I couldn't be more proud of the work that you governing board members do and the support you have for our students, our staff, and our community. And as always, it is my honor to serve as your superintendent.
All right, thank you. A great video, by the way. Mr. Jaramillo, it was a big week for you. You got to sit in on your first promotion ceremony. How'd that go?
It went really well. I got to shake hundreds of sweaty hands, and it was great. All the kids were excited, and I got to, accept them into high school. And today was the last day, because I work in public school as well in a different district. It was the last day for the kindergartners as well. So I got to see 3 classes of kindergartners, all excited, ready to show off to their parents. So It was a really happy day, happy week. I think I've attended more graduation ceremonies this week than I have in my entire life. So I had a great time.
All right, Ms. Wilson, how did it go this week?
Yeah, as usual, lots of promotions, and but I just want to congratulate all those eighth graders that were promoted to high school and their families. And also, I attended the preschool promotion. My grandson was promoted to kinder. So that was over at Desert Garden, and I had to think, oh my goodness. And that was really cute. That went really well, and I've been really proud of the work that they've done over there. And also I attended the reception at the System of Care, and I was very impressed with the work that's going on there. So that was very interesting. It was the first time I was there since it was up and running. So it was, I was very proud of all the work that they're doing. And just happy summer to everybody. Please stay safe. And if you're traveling, be even safer.
Thank you. Ms. Pimentel.
Well, school's out for summer, so we had a lot of promotions this week. We had some kids walking across the stage kind of not ready to go, and we had a sprint with other students and some really firm handshakes. My hand is still recovering today, but that's how excited these kids are. So I went to Menzendick, Desert Spirit, and Challenger, and I'll tell you that the families, the excitement is just so, it catches, and all you can do is smile. So congratulations to the families and to our students going to high school. Big shout out and thanks to our staff that does everything to put that together, from printing brochures to setting up to tearing down and welcoming everybody. And have a safe summer. We'll still be here, but have a great summer, everyone.
All right, thank you. Ms. Bartels, how was your week?
Well, I've learned over the years, you don't wear any rings on your hand you're shaking with, because that's when it hurts. But no, it's always wonderful. It's bittersweet because, on the one hand, we're saying goodbye to our babies, but we're excited for them entering this next chapter, and it will go by in a blink. But just a reminder, we have our last Market on the Move that the district hosts this Saturday, and it will be up and running an hour earlier than normal to avoid the heat. So if you're going to go be there at 7.
All right. Again, I got to do several promotions this week, and I often tell everybody that asks, whether they want to or not, that it is my favorite part of the job. When I was at Smith on Monday, I believe I was talking with Mr. Bettigan, and he had said, this is literally the point of the whole job. This is the point of the whole district, is to get these kids here, get them past 8th grade, and send them out into the world. And you see it when you see the teachers up there, and they're calling these kids names, and they know that for a lot of these kids, this may be the last time they ever get to interact with these kids again, and you kind of see them choke up a little bit, and you know how much it means to them. And just hats off to all of the staff from every level of the district. This was our success as a district. This was our goal. This is what we promised these kids when they came into our classes, that we will prepare you for the next step, and we got to see that come to fruition this week. So thank you very much for everyone that helped on that. I had a great time. Thank you for all the districts, or for all the school sites, for inviting us into their cafeterias and their stages and getting up there and shaking what felt like a billion hands. No one fell, even though I saw some of the ladies maybe wearing heels for the first time. I've never seen some of you so challenged before, but you did an amazing job. No one fell. All the zippers were up. So boys, congratulations for that. So thank you very much. But if there's nothing else, is there a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everybody.